Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. We have a developing story in the Middle East as tensions escalate between Iran and the US. In a latest twist, Iran has presented President Trump with a peace proposal to open the Strait of Hormuz, but with a surprising delay on nuclear talks. Meanwhile, hundreds of seafarers are stranded on cargo ships caught up in the ongoing standoff. We'll take you through the latest updates on these pressing issues and more in our news recap tonight. Let's get started. The Middle East remains on high alert as tensions escalate over a fresh attempt at peace between Iran and its regional adversaries. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is our news recap for tonight. The tensions between the US and Iran continue to escalate as President Donald Trump has expressed his discontent with Tehran's latest proposal to end the war in the Middle East. According to a US official who spoke on condition of anonymity, Trump is not satisfied with the Iranian plan, which would put on hold discussions about Iran's nuclear program until the conflict is resolved and disputes over shipping in the Gulf are settled. The standoff between Washington and Tehran has been ongoing for months, with both sides engaging in a game of cat and mouse. The critical Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant portion of the world's traded oil and gas passes, remains a major point of contention. The US has imposed sanctions on Iran's oil exports, while Iran has threatened to retaliate against American ships passing through the strait. The Iranian proposal, which was outlined by President Hassan Rouhani earlier this week, suggests that both sides should focus on resolving their differences over shipping and security in the Gulf before discussing more sensitive issues like Iran's nuclear program. However, it remains unclear whether this proposal will be enough to de-escalate tensions between the two nations. The situation has significant implications for global oil markets and trade, as the Strait of Hormuz is a critical choke point for energy exports. The conflict also has major implications for regional stability and security in the Middle East. We'll continue to monitor this developing story and bring you updates as more information becomes available. As tensions in the Middle East continue to simmer, a new development has emerged from Tehran, shedding light on a surprise offer made by Iran's leaders. According to sources, Iran has presented a proposal to the United States that would focus on opening the Strait of Hormuz and ending the war in the region. This proposal was discussed in a meeting between President Donald Trump and his national security team, as revealed by White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. However, it's unclear how seriously the U.S. is considering this proposal, particularly given its demands for Iran to halt its nuclear enrichment program. The Iranian proposal would allow for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, a key trade route that has been closed since last year due to tensions between the two countries. This would enable Gulf allies to import oil and other goods, addressing concerns about energy security in the region. On the other hand, constraining Iran's nuclear program remains a critical issue for the Trump administration. However, experts say that opening the Strait of Hormuz is the priority for Gulf allies. The U.S. demand for Iran to halt its nuclear enrichment program has been a major roadblock in negotiations, but the Iranian proposal suggests that Tehran may be willing to compromise on this issue. The details of the proposal were first reported by Axios and are being discussed at a meeting of the Gulf Cooperation Council on Tuesday. Members of the council will discuss the Iranian proposal, which is seen as a significant development in efforts to resolve the ongoing standoff between the U.S. and Iran. With peace talks stalled and tensions remaining high, this proposal offers a glimmer of hope for resolving the crisis. A tense standoff in the Strait of Hormuz has left thousands of mariners without a safe passage, with no clear resolution in sight yet. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global oil and gas trade, has been shut down due to tensions between Iran and its neighbors. Thousands of seafarers are now stranded on cargo ships, with many unable to return home. Iran's military has blockaded the area, citing concerns over maritime security, while some countries have imposed naval escorts to protect their vessels. The United States, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates have all been affected by the disruption. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital route for oil shipments from the Middle East to global markets. The blockade has sent prices soaring, with crude oil surging above $90 per barrel. This development has major implications for the global economy, particularly in countries that rely heavily on imported oil. The situation is concerning for safety reasons as well. Many cargo ships are now being held at anchor, unable to proceed due to the lack of clear passage through the strait. The International Maritime Organization, IMO, has warned of potential consequences for crew members and the environment if the blockade persists. As tensions between Iran and its neighbors continue to escalate, it remains to be seen how long the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed. The United States has vowed to protect American interests in the region, but it's unclear whether this will be enough to resolve the crisis. With thousands of seafarers stranded on cargo ships, time is running out for those who are waiting for a resolution. As tensions in the Middle East continue to simmer, a new shipment is set to alter the global energy landscape with its unconventional cargo. A developing crisis has emerged as the United States and Iran's ongoing conflict with Iran has led to a severe shortage of helium, a vital industrial gas used in numerous high-tech applications. The situation began when the U.S. imposed economic sanctions on Iran following its nuclear program, leading to a sharp decline in Iranian oil exports. This move sent shockwaves through global markets, causing prices for crude oil and natural gas to skyrocket. As a result, many countries, including the United States, have struggled to secure sufficient helium supplies. The Helium Shortage Task Force, established by the U.S. Department of Energy, has warned that without immediate action, the country's helium reserves could be depleted within 3 years. The shortage affects not only the energy sector but also industries such as semiconductors and medical equipment, which rely heavily on helium for their operations. If you think about semiconductors, fiber optics, or anything using superconducting magnets, the consequences of not having helium are gigantic in an economic sense, said Nicholas Snyder, CEO of North American Helium, a leading producer of the gas. The crisis highlights the interconnectedness of global supply chains and the devastating impact of disruptions on critical industries. As tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to simmer, policymakers must consider the long-term implications of this shortage and explore alternatives to secure sufficient helium supplies for the United States' growing tech sector. A significant development in a long-standing maritime dispute is emerging from the United Nations, as Iran's representative makes a striking claim about its role under international law. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's news recap. We have some significant developments coming out of the United Nations, specifically regarding Iran's maritime actions in the Strait of Hormuz. On Monday, Amir Saeed Iravani, Iran's representative to the UN, made a statement that has sparked concern among international observers. He claimed that Iran is not bound by the UN Law of the Sea, a treaty that governs navigation and use of the world's oceans. This assertion has significant implications for global maritime security. According to Iravani, Iran's actions in the Strait of Hormuz are necessary to balance coastal security with safe navigation in an environment described as highly volatile. He pointed out that some international members have displayed double standards by ignoring the U.S.-imposed maritime blockade on Iran. This blockade has been in place since 2018 and is widely seen as a major contributor to tensions in the region. The concerns raised by Iravani are not entirely unfounded. The Law of the Sea Treaty is designed to promote freedom of navigation, but its implementation can be complex and nuanced. Iran's actions have sparked criticism from some quarters, who argue that they undermine the principles of international law. Meanwhile, others see them as a legitimate response to perceived threats to national security. The implications of this statement are far-reaching, and it remains to be seen how the international community will respond. As tensions in the region continue to escalate, it is essential to understand the complexities at play and the motivations behind Iran's actions. We will continue to monitor this situation and provide updates as more information becomes available. In conclusion, we've brought you the latest on a tense standoff in the Middle East. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. To stay ahead of the curve, be sure to subscribe to our channel for expert analysis and breaking news. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.